I'm so excited because my sister is in town and we are headed up to Sandia Peak. We are going to go hike and see the beautiful views of all of the Albuquerque area. We've gone up there a couple times. We've done this hike. I did this hike on my own with a few of my kids once, but my husband's never been. And now we get to show my sister, and I'm just so excited to get out of the city and get up to the mountains. So my sister does not live close by, so when she comes to visit, we are all ready for adventure. She's basically my best friend besides my husband, so anytime we get together, we have lots of fun. I actually feel very privileged to have a sister. We do not get along with everything. We're actually very different, which I think is actually kind of common for sisters to be really opposite. And that's what we are. But I've found, like, over the years as we've grown up and matured and have our own kids and our own families, that there's that special bond that I have with my sister where we know each other and we can laugh, we can get mad at each other, but of course we always forgive each other. And it's just a relationship that I don't take for granted, because we don't live by each other. So again, whenever she comes into town, I'm so excited, and so are the cousins because they get to play together. So here we go. We are on our way up the mountain. You'll love the view in just a minute as you see all the trees coming up. It's going to be beautiful. So the key to this hike is that you park in the lower parking lot, not at the very top where the very peak is, because we're going to go a different way through the forest along the rim. So you can kind of see this picture kind of shows where we're at the crest. We wanted to make sure we weren't going to get lost, so we took pictures of this map right here. And we were ready to go. We made a mistake. Or maybe I should say I made a mistake. I always think I remember things about the hikes I go on, whether they're short, but they actually are long. And in this case, we brought the stroller with, and we'll find out later that it's not very helpful on this hike. There's just too many places where it doesn't work. But alas, look at this view. This is Albuquerque, New Mexico. The view is beautiful, just to see all of the cliffs and rocks. And can I just say one thing though? When you're taking kids with, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Thankfully, they had pretty good barriers up, so it wasn't too scary, but that's a really big drop-off. But that's what makes it so fun and so spectacular. And there's only a little short part that felt so scary with little kids,
I did it before.
Which was this part, of course. And we were trying to push the stroller, and it just was not working very well. Thankfully, my husband is very patient, and him and the boys took the stroller back to the van, and we carried the baby the rest of the way. Because guess what? We forgot the baby carrier that we normally would have in the car. It was not there. So that's life, and thankfully we have lots of teenagers to help, and it ended up working out great.
What?
Here, just so beautiful to be in nature. We got to take these awesome pictures with the beautiful view in the background. Definitely had to be careful though where you stepped. There is no fence along this area. There was even a lady who avoided taking her dogs by the edge because that's how steep it was. So we were going to have to walk up this little trail with all of our kids. But we did it. See, we're smiling. We made it through, thankfully. There was a lot more fencing up here. Of course, there was a part where you could slide through, so you had to be careful. Anyways, I'm just a mom over here talking, trying to make sure that none of the kids die. And then we went up this big stairway, and there we began our descent into the forest, which was beautiful. And 3, 2, 1, cue the silly sisters.
This is what you do if there's a cougar. As your stick falls apart, it's all rotten. All right, we're ready now.
I'm not gonna lie, by this time I was kind of huffing and puffing, even though we were going downhill, but this was the first hike I'd been on in a while. So plus the elevation, obviously, I think also gets to you when you're up this high.
Oh, what kind? Let's see. Where at? Oh, that looks like a dog track. I think that's a dog. But you're being very observant.
So we're always watching the clouds whenever we go anywhere in New Mexico because the storms just kind of start building, and we didn't want to get rained on, and then most importantly, we didn't want any lightning to hit us. So we were keeping an eye, and then we came across all these beautiful flowers. Would have been nice to make a cute little bouquet, but we didn't get a chance to, but just love the flowers. It's gorgeous. So we finally made it up to the stone house. This thing was built like a long time ago. It was built for some construction worker type people so they could actually stay there while they were building something. I guess I should have wrote it down, but pretty cool. Used to have a fireplace. Obviously there's no windows, but you definitely have to check out this view. This is why this is such a cool hike, and it's definitely worth doing if you're ever in Albuquerque, going up to the Sandia. And I also will mention that it's a pretty easy hike. So I would say just call it easy. Yeah. But of course, whenever I say it's easy, it's not. So if you look over here, you can see the Albuquerque tram. There it is. So that's the top. You can actually take the tram all the way up, and there's a restaurant there. So that's a really scary thing to do. I did it once. Not a huge fan of heights, so I haven't done it again. But from where we're at, we could actually do a hike all the way over to the restaurant. So my husband and I have thought about making that maybe like a date hike where we would obviously leave the kids at home and hike all the way over there just for fun. But we're kind of in our chubbier stage, so as soon as we can get some of this weight off again, we'll be a little bit more equipped because it is kind of a far hike to go all the way over there to that restaurant. This was a great spot for us to have our lunch for the day. There wasn't a lot of people coming in, so it worked out great. And I'm so glad I get to do this with my honey bunny. Okay, if you look really close though, you'll see the tram right there, that little dot that's moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video because it's moving pretty slow and I don't want to bore you to death. Okay, can you see it? It's the bottom right, and there it goes. It's going all the way up. And yes, I did record it going all the way up and getting to the restaurant. Definitely should be on your bucket list if you've never been on. So there it goes, and somebody gets to go eat some yummy food. This camera is really amazing because that's actually so far away. As you'll see, I'm going to zoom out. And yeah, that's pretty far. This was an amazing hike. We love the rock that we're on and just the view, the 360 view actually. I was too scared to go way up to the top next to the little house. My sister went, but I don't know. I always think the worst, and I would just prefer not to fall off the edge because that would be great. So, oh, this is really cool. This tree is hollow, but it's still alive. I just think that's kind of awesome. There she goes up to the edge. So we're going to make our way back. Again, it's really an easy, I should say, a mostly easy hike. It does not take long to do at all, but it's totally worth it. I really took my time on the way back to stop and smell the flowers, so to speak, just to notice all the little details of the little flower patches. Just they're such small flowers, but they're so beautiful. I just love that. And then the different types of pine trees that there are there, it's just really neat. Even the stony path that we were walking on is fun to just look down at. Kind of maybe get like more of like a kid's perspective of what they see. Sometimes I think as adults, we're so busy worrying obviously about our kids, worrying about making sure we get where we got to go, that you kind of miss out on the little things that are around us. Or in this case, the big tall trees, looking up, looking for animals in the trees. It's really important to do that, and also to teach our kids that, because we want them to know how to enjoy nature, because it's God's creation. And He has enabled us to be able to go to these places and to be together as a family, but then also to appreciate the beauty that is around us. So we made our way back up to the van, which is up at the top of that hill. Last call for bathroom breaks, and then we were going to head back down the hill. And we decided to go a different route this time. Instead of taking the main road, we're going to go off the beaten path and go down towards Placitas, New Mexico. We've taken that road a couple times, mainly coming up it, and so we decided to go down. And it was really fun because as we were driving, a little butterfly kept following us, and he followed us there he is. He followed us down the road forever and ever and ever. And it was really a fun thing with the kids to be like, is he still there? You know, because he would get behind us and then he would catch up. And I don't know, I just think it's really special when a butterfly is paying attention to us. And what's really cool is even at our house now, we have a swimming pool and we go swimming, and I noticed that there's a yellow butterfly that lives in our yard. He flies around and I'm like, could it be the same butterfly? And I'm sure it's not, but it's just kind of fun to think it is, that, hey, maybe he hitched a ride. We thought we lost him towards the end of the road, but you never know. Or maybe just a coincidence, and we have another beautiful yellow butterfly. And someone told me that butterflies are good luck. I don't really believe in that kind of luck, but it is wonderful to just watch the pretty yellow butterflies flutter around and have fun with it. So one of the things that I like to do whenever we're going to go out into nature is I sometimes like to look up Bible verses that talk about how God created everything. Talk about the trees. I mean, we can go back to Genesis, obviously, where the story of creation. But there's definitely a lot of Psalms and just other books in the Bible that really describe the beauty of what God created. And I like to read that to my kids because it kind of helps tie it together, because we don't go and look at this and just say, oh, Mother Nature. No, we actually look at it and say, wow, God did that. He made the beautiful trees. He made the streams that we get to go play in. He made the butterflies and the deer that we see. Basically, we attribute everything to God, and it's so important for our family to do that for our kids because we want them to appreciate who God is and how much He loves us and how He allows us to enjoy creation. It's also a great way to make the Bible come alive to our kids. It's not just a bunch of fancy words or hard to understand words. There's so much about life in the Bible, and we want our kids to see it and to know who God is. So thank you for coming on this journey with us up to the Sandia Mountains and down the mountain through Placitas. I hope you can subscribe and like this video and keep watching. Bye.